Let's see.
Let's see. You're live? Are we live?
It says we're waiting. So might not.
This thing say I'm on 10 seconds. Okay, yeah, we in there.
All right.
Okay, yeah. All right, we in there. Um, Greetings, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show, man. We had some technical difficulties, but we working it all out. So tonight's discussion, we was talking about why you don't have the connections, the deep connections that you crave. People say that they hate small talk and they want deep conversations. Yet these same people hide themselves and they try to rejection protection. They don't open up. If you want to have a deep friendship, you got to be open. You can't be closed and expect to have deep connections and deep conversations. So that's the topic of today's discussion. We're going to get down to what are some root causes because everything is not for everybody. There's no one size fits all root cause, but we're going to talk about some root causes and some possible solutions. Now, before we get into all of that, I want to introduce our guest, who is no stranger. Everybody knows EV from EFP Media. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure to be here. I love it over here.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we glad to have you, EV. And shout out to everybody that was in the live chat. The last one got busted. Shout out to John Smith from North Carolina. But okay, so EV. Let me give it. We got the town hall coming up next Wednesday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. The link is in my description. It's in the YouTube description. Go sign up for that if you haven't signed up for that. We're talking about stories to help you avoid mistakes you can't reverse. That's going to be a great conversation, a big group conversation. Go sign up for that. The link is in the description. And okay, now let's get into the show.
Of course.
Evie, what do you think about this idea of deep conversations, deep connections that people crave, but they shoot themselves in the foot by being isolated? What's your initial thoughts
Yeah.
about that?
Well, first, I think that um, sometimes people have certain, let's say, mental things, like they might have anxiety. So it's not that they don't want it. One, sometimes people don't even know how to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
What do I say? And a lot of times people look at gaining relationships with deepening relationships in adjacent to high school, which we're adults now. You don't operate in the real world like that. But I think also sometimes there's some intimidation there as well because you're worried about being accepted, the outcomes, like just different things that can take place that probably runs through a person's mind that may not typically run through the average person's mind all the time.
The average person's mind. Um, Olette, greetings, sister. Also, the
Hey
title
sis.
is a little off. Deep and connections are switched. Yeah, this whole thing got messed up, but we're gonna roll with the punches, and that's okay. Some people they want things to be perfect, and they don't move forward unless it's perfect.
Yeah.
But it's okay for not to be perfect. And I'm a prime example. I'm gonna put myself on display and let you see it's okay to not be perfect. Nothing. I'm not going. You're not going to die. Nobody's not going to. What is your fear? You fear of it not being perfect. Why? What do you think is going to happen if it's not perfect? Do you think that? I don't know. I don't know what you think.
I don't know either. I don't typically have problems building deep connections. I have a lot of people in my circle that actually every personal relationship I have is a deep connection. I don't typically know how to have friendships that are just like surface level.
Mm.
And of course, you know, to get to know someone, you have to start off with small talk, right? You have to start off with the little things that you know, just little things. So like some techniques that I use is like I give compliments, you know, hey, I like your shoes, I like your dress, I like your head covering, oh, you look nice today. Things like that that I try to, you know, ease into a conversation. For me, in a public setting, I can have the gift of gab. Like I will just start anything you start talking about, I'm all in. You know, I'm really good at one-on-ones than I am with big collectives. When it becomes a collective thing, I kind of just like tune into the background, just like, you know, just I'm here, but I'm not really, you know, like trying to steal the show and things like that. You know, you have people who have big personalities, and then you have people who don't have those same personalities. So from my experience, anytime I get to know someone, I end up having a deep connection with them. And I think it's just because, you know, you start off with small talk, but then at some point, life be life, man. So sometimes you, and I think that's just my personality, because I don't have a problem letting you know it's not a good day, you know,
Yeah.
and discussing that. But I think sometimes people have an issue with that vulnerability and being able to be relatable to others. I think that's something as well. And then I also think some people are just that set in their ways. You know, they don't really know how to really show up for other people, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with some people's upbringing. But nonetheless, you know, I think that some people just don't even know how to show up, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. The thing that really sparked this topic today, I saw a video earlier. A YouTuber was talking about um, somebody left a comment on one of her videos, and they said maybe you're just not likable. And she took that and started to spiral. And she was like, dang, am I not likable? Am I having all these problems? Am I so lonely and I ain't got no friends and I'm going through all this stuff? She started to internalize that. And she's like, dang, am I not likable? So that was the catalyst that sparked this conversation. Shout out to
Likeable.
Helena. Oh yes, and Olette. So but yeah, so I also hear these conversations about there's a loneliness epidemic. People stay in the house and they fearful of going out. You mentioned upbringing. You mentioned some people personality. Like, yeah, and I think some people, even Nikisha, she might Ivana. What's up, Ivana? Nikisha put a video out recently. She was talking about being an introvert and how she would lean on this. Oh, I'm an introvert, so this is why I don't do this, or this is why I don't do that, because I'm an introvert. But it can be a crutch. It can keep you from getting the thing that you want, and that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. I want to help people get what they want. You say you want this thing, but there's an obstacle. I'm trying to get you to overcome this obstacle to get you what you want. She said also with the title, "Booger hanging out my nose." That was that me? No, I ain't gonna get lost in the chat. So I got some notes: small talk, friendship, closed off, rejection protection, misunderstood. Okay, yeah. So people say that I feel misunderstood, but how can somebody understand you if you don't tell them your thoughts? If you constantly holding back, the I think a root cause is fear.
Yeah.
Fear and a need for confidence. You say, Evie, that sometimes it can stem back to a person's upbringing and their childhood. What did you mean by that?
Well, when you grow up in certain atmospheres, maybe the parents were more reserved, strict, lacked personality, or, you know, just kind of was always on top of their kids. Those kids typically grow up to be a little insecure, and don't typically know how to operate in the world because they're so self-conscious. Yes, there's a world where there is a loneliness epidemic where people are alone more, but I think that's a choice because of the state of society. It is very hard to find like-minded people, and because the internet has become such a big place, you're able to find like-minded people in other parts of the world, but it doesn't necessarily mean that these people are in your backyard and you guys can go to lunch together. I think there's a difference between having open conversations and being able to communicate, and versus looking at it as people are lonely because they're not getting out the house. I don't think that's the issue. I think that the biggest thing is that people do have others that they can relate to, but it's just there may not be right there.
Yeah.
As far as the upbringing part, once again, it kind of just goes to what kind of parent did you have? Did you have a parent that allowed you to voice your opinion, allowed you to be open with communication, gave you the floor to speak, or were they more of a parent that, told you things instead of allowing you to express these things? They didn't allow you to have a voice. So when you get older, those things play a big part. I have very social parents who go out, meet friends, and they're very likable people. And then also, and within our home, I was able to speak up, even if it was in opposition of what my parents had to say. Yeah, I'm going to get corrected, but they never made me feel like I didn't have a voice and that I couldn't speak up. And I think that too plays a big part in adults who grow up and don't really know how to speak up for themselves. Because one thing I noticed, the internet has become a place where people feel like they can just insert themselves, or they can just type away. But then when you see them in person, they're quiet. They have nothing to say.
Crickets.
But if we were texting or talking, they'll have so much to say. So I think there's so many attributes that contribute to today's society and being a likable person. The likable thing, because you kind of glossed over that, but I wanted to kind of go back to that. The being likable, that is actually a skill. That's not something that people really know that it's really a skill to be likable. It's not about people pleasing. It's about showing up and just being present and not internalizing everything, but also being able to communicate with this person from this walk of life and this person from that walk of life. And I think that in my everyday life, like where I work, I have to deal with so many different departments in HR that I've become a chameleon. Just like in school, I was the chameleon. I could be friends with this group of people, that group of people. And it's not about people pleasing. It's about being likable. People would do things for you because they like you.
Exactly.
People will show up for you because they like you. Even in life as adults, when you go for a job interview, this person may have the education, the credentials, and all of these things, but if you are not likable, then they're not gonna choose you. That's what I mean. You may have the credentials, the knowledge, the education, all of these things, but if you are not likable, they probably won't choose you for the position. Because being likable shows them that you're able to navigate the world and work with different types of people. If you want to internalize, or if you want to just hold on to this, one thing I don't like about people who are introverts, because I'm 50-50. I can give you extroverted energy like I'm doing right now, and then I can turn this camera off and give you introverted energy and put my phone on do not disturb and don't talk to nobody. But at the same time, I think that sometimes the downfall of being an introvert is that some people think people who are introverts are stuck up. And it's not that they're stuck up, they're just reserved. They don't really know how to express themselves. Well, I wouldn't say that. They don't feel comfortable expressing themselves, you know? So that would be my take on that. I think that, you know, the loneliness thing, I don't think people are truly lonely. I just think that they may not have their people in their immediate grasp. Like my closest friend is not even in my state. Okay. So like my two closest friends, one live in Georgia, one live in Philly. So it's like that's not even something that I can just pull up on my friend and just say, hey, you know. So, but it doesn't mean that, but I'm not lonely. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a lonely person, though I don't have like my closest friends right here to me. Because I could pick up the phone and call them at any time. Well, that's enough with my little.
No, that's good. And so I got this other camera rolling, and it got a 30-minute. So let me start another clip, and we're gonna get right into it. I took some notes and to address some of the things you say, because I know I can have squirrel brain and forget everything. So I gotta write everything down. So I got all these sticky notes hanging around here. Okay, so upbringing. I think somebody said, I think when you're able to observe different personalities, you learn how to communicate with different types of people and the ways to connect with them. It helps. Yes, Ivana, you got that right. And like you said, Evie, it's a skill. Skills can be acquired. Skills can be practiced. You get good at something through practice. So you gotta expose yourself to opportunities to practice. You said something about exposure to different type of people. That's you find other type of people outside of your home. You don't find them at home. You find them. You find them outside.
That's true.
You know, when somebody invites you, go to some of this stuff. Don't decline everything. Go to some stuff sometimes. I know you might be introverted and it's uncomfortable, but if you say you want to get the things that you want, you're gonna have to do the things to get what you want. So when somebody invites you, go sometimes.
Yeah.
And
sure.
You feel me?
Definitely go.
Just be there. Just showing up. And you know what? I think a lot of times people look at the big picture. They look at the top of the mountain when you should look down at your feet at the next step in front of you. Take the next small step. The next small step is to just go. And then whatever happens when you get there, you get some finger food or whatever, and just mingle. Don't think about all of the stuff. I think people think about all this stuff, and then a lot of times, all of that stuff you was thinking about, it didn't even happen. Somebody came to me with a conversation. They was like, they had to tell me something, and they pulled me to the side and told me what they had to tell me, and I said, okay. And it was like, you could just see all this weight, like, they was like, she was like, this happened so much better than I thought. She was like, I'm glad you took it so well. Because I guess she had in her mind that it was going to be a big problem, but it wasn't a big problem. So, and that's another thing, evidence. Let the data dictate your doubts. Why do you think it's going to be such a problem? What evidence do you have? Have you seen a pattern where it was a problem? How do you know? You don't know. You don't even have a pattern to fall back on. So why do you expect for that to happen? You have no evidence. Yeah. So go ahead.
And I would say that's a confidence thing. You know, I agree 100% that you have to put yourself in those situations to grow. Staying at home in the house, you know, it's not going to help you get better at being social. You know, yes, we have YouTube, you know, you talk, but it's so much easier to talk to a camera when you're in the room by yourself, you know, but you have to get into this way of going out, going to the events and going to different things happening in your city. Go to the food truck festivals. And see, that's going back to upbringing. As a kid, my parents, we did stuff. We did stuff that was outside, like, going here, going to the festival, going to this little thing, or whatever it was. We were in social environments. So I think it's also important, if you're a parent, to also have your children in social environments and not get them so accustomed to just being in a home and, they only go out to church, and it's nothing wrong. Well, I mean, it's more things to do in life than that. So I agree, the more you are able to put yourself out there, the more open you'll be to different outcomes. Sometimes the outcome may not be favorable. Maybe it wasn't a good experience, but what you just said, Devin, is that it's
data.
It may not have been a good experience, but it is data. And it's something that you can build off of. Okay, this didn't go right here. How can I improve and work on that and keep putting yourself out there to be better in that? You know what I mean? It's deeper than just going along just to get along. And it's like, what kind of life is that? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of life is that? So, what was the question?
Let me see some comments. Ivana said, and the more you do it, the more fun it gets. Yes. You realize it wasn't as bad, and now you started having fun.
Yes, absolutely.
You mentioned that for the parents, take your kids outside, because they're not going to be kids forever. A lot of adults today lack confidence. It's a result of they used to be kids who lack confidence. If you want your kid to be an adult with confidence, if you want your kid to be a confident adult, start practicing confidence early. Don't wait until you 30, 35 to finally start practicing confidence. No, you start that early. And that's I experienced. I did a poll on YouTube. I said, if your kid follows your example, what skill would they struggle with the most? You know what was the highest poll? Confidence.
Oh, confidence.
People said that if my kid is like me, they're gonna struggle with confidence. Don't wait till your kids be an adult like you to start practicing confidence. Practice it early. Take them to stuff and let them linger for a little while. When the function is over, don't be in a rush to go. You're gonna be stuck in traffic anyway. Linger for a little while.
Yeah.
Everybody trying to get out the parking lot at the same time. Relax. You said something earlier about upbringing too, and I wrote down comparison. A lot of adults and some parents. Virginia, what's up, sister?
Hey, sis.
John's in the building. Comparison. I talk to a lot of people and I listen to a lot of people, and I notice this thing about comparison keep popping up. Mm-hmm. Parents will compare their kids. Grandparents will compare grandkids, the nieces and nephews. Somebody told me how they used to bully their cousin because the grandmother would compare her to her cousin. And she was like, oh, your cousin is like this and that. Why can't you be more like your cousin? And she, when the grown-ups wasn't looking, she used to beat up on her cousin because of that. Not because her cousin did nothing bad to her, but because the grown-ups was immature and unwise and comparing their kids. Not realizing the truth that everything is not for everybody and everybody's not the same. And so these kids who lack confidence, they grow up to be adults who lack confidence. And as you said, they feel like some adults today feel like they don't speak up for themselves.
Right.
What's the consequences? Go ahead.
Hold on, someone's at my door.
You good? What y'all got in the comments? Okay, linger, right? Linger for a little bit. Yeah. Comparison. People say they have no voice. Likable is a skill. Exposure to different things. Rejection, protect. It's attractive. People have this fear of being rejected, but they lack the skills to be attractive. You fear being rejected, and you don't practice the skills to be accepted, chosen, attractive.
No, attractability is a thing, and it's not just about looks.
It's not just about looks.
No, it's not. It's an energy exchange.
Yeah.
It's how you. It's what you feel. See how you show up in the world, even before you speak. How you present is what people see first. It's not a thing where you're like, they say, oh, it's what's on the inside counts, but I don't see the inside first. I see the outside first. And
Right.
if your demeanor isn't attractable, then what happens when things attract? They attach. But when you take the magnets around and you try to bring them together, it's pulling apart because it ain't working. So you have to have being attractable, having an attractability is a skill as well that you have to develop. And I don't want to make it seem like it's solely a parent's responsibility. You can give your children the experiences and the tools, but who they are will always be who they are. But as an adult, when you realize that you lack certain qualities and skills, it is your responsibility to put yourself in those experiences and grasp those skills to become better at it. That's why I'm an advocate for college, because college teaches you certain attractability and likable skills that allows you to get along with people who not all of y'all come from the same walk of life. Yes, I went to an HBCU, but it didn't mean that other races weren't there. So therefore, you have to learn how to navigate the world, work in groups, be a project manager and things like that, which are things and skills that you take outside of college into the real world. So, I think college gives people that experience that sometimes, people wouldn't typically put themselves in those experiences just on their own, like something anyway, that's my take on it. That's
Yeah. Yeah. What they say, you are like the 5 people you hang around the most. When you are around certain people that's not from your neighborhood, who, as you said, they didn't grow up the way you did, so they have different experiences from what you have. They've been exposed to stuff that you've never been exposed to, and so you learn things that you wouldn't have learned otherwise.
Right.
I used to do network marketing, and I learned some of these soft skills, some of these conversation skills. And so I want to give you, especially if y'all in the replay or if you're watching here live, I want to give you a little framework for conversation. It's called FORM, FORM. It's family, occupation, recreation, and meaning. When you meet somebody new and you striking up conversation, begin with family and talk about their family and where they're from and stuff like that. And this start to build up some rapport. And this is an easy way to have a conversation, to keep a conversation going. Family, occupation, recreation, and then meaning. This is like, what is the meaning of life to you? You say you want to have these deep conversations. You say you hate small talk, but let's talk about some meaning. What do you value? And so sometimes you can have a deep conversation with somebody, but sometimes, like, if you're just on the airport, if you're at the airport, what was that movie, Fight Club? They talk about single serving friends. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you don't have time for a deep conversation, but sometimes you do.
Yeah.
So the times that you do, that's a little framework you can use for a conversation. FORM, family, occupation, recreation, meaning.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Eva? You got any little frameworks?
Not just to say off the top of my head, but I wanted to kind of dive into the idea of why people hate small talk. What about it is so dreadful? I think small talk is easier than deep, meaningful conversations because you can be agreeable depending on what they're talking about. They can give you say, hey, I'm from, I don't know, California. Oh wow, I've never been to California. What part of Cali? And then you start having a conversation, and then you're having a conversation that's surface level, which is small talk, but it's flowing because people love to talk about themselves. So when you're able to just be attentive, get into the conversation, and have people talk about themselves, and then you listen attentively, and then you find something that they're saying, and then you feed off of that. Oh yeah, well, my cousin was born there, and then you start having a conversation, and then one thing leads to another, then to another, and now you're developing rapport, like you said.
Exactly.
And I think that is really what that form method is meaning. That's it in real time. But I don't know why. I would love to study or like look that up online or see why do people, dread small talk. Just it's the opportunity to get to know someone new. You don't have to be the best of friends, but it's practice. You put it in practice. You be in the store, someone says something to you, they like, oh, like, you have your kids with you, they say something to you about your kid, and then you're like, yeah, how are you? And then next thing you know, they're talking about their grandkids, and how they just moved here from Arizona to help their kids out, and you're just chit-chatting in the store in line. Next thing you know, 10 minutes goes by and you're out the door. When you go to the, even if we're in the same environment in the grocery store, you get to the cashier, hey, how are you? How you doing? Make a joke, do something, just make conversation and practice. Practice. So that way you kind of get the chip on your shoulder. It goes down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I understand sometimes people have to be in the mood. Sometimes people have to feel like it. So I wouldn't want anyone to do anything if you don't feel comfortable. But I do encourage you to have more small talk with people that you don't know, and just practice. Practice those small little moments of engagement. And then over time, you'll be talking to people. But, it's all, like I said, it's about your attractability and how you come off. If you have this standoffish energy, it's not that you intend to have it, but if you have it, we have to work towards changing that. If you want to be a likable person, there are people out there, Devin, that's like, I'm good where I'm at. I'm good. But if you want to be someone that is likable, that's not people pleasing, but is likable, you want to start practicing, how you come off. Smile. When you see someone smile, don't look so, you don't know what you look like, but to them, it look like you having a bad day. Smile and communicate. Or I be smiling all the time when I'm out in public, unless I'm just having a really, really bad day. But for the most part, when I pass somebody, I don't care if it's a woman, a man, a child, I'm just like, I just give them a smile and I keep it moving. But that's a welcoming spirit. It's a lot. It's inviting. It's inviting and you don't even have to show all your teeth, but you could just do a smirk, or you could just put it in your mind. Like, growing up, I used to watch Tyra Banks, Top Model.
Oh yeah.
And America's Next Top Model. And one of the things she used to tell the girls is smile with your eyes, right?
Smiles.
And smile. And start smiling, start practicing smiling with your eyes and having that joyful look in your face. So many of our sisters and brothers in the faith have beautiful skin. So you're already radiating, right? You got the glow, but you need to put a smile on your face. You need to have your face be more welcoming, so that way more people can feel that attractability from you. And I think that's one of the main things too. Even in your pictures, smile more. Be like, hey, how are you? And just keep it moving. You ain't gotta have this long drawn conversation, but you could just smile and be like, hi, and keep it moving. It's something about when you see somebody and you can just see that they happy. They might be having a bad day. But you wouldn't know that, right? Because the way that they're presenting themselves to the world is something that you want a piece of that. You know, you're like, oh, I want to get to know this person more. And then next thing you know, you don't got a new friend, and now you can move into those deep conversations that you want to have with people. But in order to get deep, you gotta ease way into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just go to the beach and it's like as soon as you hit the water, boom, deep water. Like, no, there's the gradual, it's gradual. You get there slowly, but you're gonna get there. You gotta keep going out, keep going out, keep going out. You're gonna get there to the deep end. But you got to start somewhere. And sometimes you just need to put your feet in the water at the shallow end. And what that means is that you need to start having small talk right where you are. So that way, by the time you get to the deep end, you're prepared. You have the experience and you can sustain being in that deep end before you drown.
You said some good stuff, Evie. I don't know if it's yeah, you got it. It's a little something under your
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
but
you.
Practice. And speaking of practice, I made an assessment for this. Social confidence. The link is in the bio, or you can scan this QR code and ask you 11 questions and give you a good assessment on where could you start. Which one of these social confidence skills could be improved? It's a free assessment. Click the link in the bio or scan the QR code. Chemistry. Some people say that, I even heard people say that somebody should just know. They should just, you should know that by now. But how would somebody know if you don't tell them? It's the same thing with this whole chemistry thing. I think some people, they say it should just be natural. I shouldn't have to put in this effort to have friends or to build a relationship. It should just happen naturally. We should just have natural chemistry. But even if you do have chemistry, that still takes time to build that deep relationship. Just like you say, Eva, you don't jump in, you don't come off the shore and you boom right in the deep end. It's a gradual process. It takes time, and I think people romanticize it like love at first sight. I don't believe in love at first sight. I don't believe in no, I don't believe in
hopeless romantic. I believe in love at first sight.
Yeah, I mean, everything is not for everybody.
I get the chemistry thing though. I can see why a group of people may say that. There's some people you just hit it off with right at the beginning, You just gel really well and you guys get along. So I could get that.
Yeah. What you think about
every relationship is not gonna be like that.
Yeah. And even still, you still got to open yourself up and come outside to even have those interactions, to have that. Chemistry. So let me tell you about attractiveness. I was at the barbershop, and my barber, he had bought one of my prints. I had these like landscape pictures from around the city, and he printed one out and had it on the wall at the barbershop. And so I came in there, I'm talking to people, I'm waiting in the chair to get my haircut. And one of the guys, we started talking about photography. We was talking about the picture on the wall. And his mother was getting married soon. Do you know that I shot his mother's wedding? And his mother, they related to some rich folks out in Colombia. This has been one of my best clients, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over the years, just from a small little conversation at the barbershop. And this is what I'm talking about. Being attractive, having the people skills, having that social confidence, it opens doors for you. And you can build that confidence through practice. See, you build confidence by having proof. When you're unsure of something, it makes you fearful. But when you have the reps and when you know what to expect, there's less fear because you know what to expect. You know what to expect by practice. So have the practice. Evie, were you saying something? You on mute. Is it on mute? I see it. I don't see it on mute or on Zoom, but I see your mouth moving. I don't hear no words. Can y'all hear EV? Here, say something, EV. All right. I even on the live. I said no, we can't hear her. Guys, what do y'all think about this topic of confidence? Folks in the comments in the live stream. Do you crave deep connections? We talked about, yeah, sometimes your friends is not going to be nearby. That's true. But sometimes they are. Sometimes you do have people nearby. Sometimes you do get invited to things and you don't go. How do y'all feel about this topic of deep connections? Do you crave deep connections? Do you hate small talk? Do you want friends? What has been your history with friendship? Did you have a lot of friends coming up? Did you wish you had friends coming up? Why do you think you don't have friends coming up if you didn't? I can't hear you, Evie. As I get older, Ivana says, as I get older, I'm starting to crave deep, genuine connections. I've started putting myself out there and seeing positive results. Thank God. Amen. You know, humans are social creatures. We are not, I can't think of a creature that's an isolated creature, but we are social creatures. This life is not designed to do it on your own. You know, they say take a village. Every person that was born, they was born from a man and a woman, they have a child. It's not natural to raise a child on your own. Nature is to do it together. When you go against nature, you have problems. It's not natural to be isolated because we're social creatures. We're built to be social. Okay, Evie came out. I guess she's coming right back. Many things that you want to do in life is going to require other people. I said many things. I didn't say all, but many things in life, it require you to interact with other people. So it would be wise to practice the skill of interacting with other people. Let me see what's up. Yeah, I hear you now. Very good.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, it's all good. We're
I
back.
had to plug my computer before it died, and I think I hit the wrong
Oh,
USB
snap.
cord.
Evie, you know what? I put the sticky note on my computer.
Recording in progress.
And I still I put the sticky note on the computer and I still forgot to hit record. That's crazy. Well, at least the live stream is working. Man, and see, I need a checklist. I need a I don't know. I don't know how else can I get around this. You try to set up all of these safeguards, but it's human error. The sticky note. And you know, I'm recording on my other camera, but I didn't press record on Zoom. So I need to be specific and say record to Zoom. So you got to be specific.
Oh man, so you can download this video from YouTube, you know.
Yeah, but it's gonna be choppy. I want it to be smooth. How? I mean, it's decent. Let me start one more clip on my big camera. We can go for one more round. Boom, boom. Okay, let's see what they're talking about in the comments. Let's see what the people talking about. because this is a live stream. This is the benefit of doing it live. Helena says, go back and stream record before you end the live. Yeah. Helena said, I definitely need to practice interacting, but sometimes my words don't come out right. I get tongue-tied. Hey, you seen me get tongue-tied, Helena, right here on the live stream in front of everybody. That's okay. You ain't got to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Don't expect perfection. That's not real. You know, that's not natural. Think of anything in nature. Look at the contours of the ocean. Look at the leaves on the tree. There is no perfectly symmetrical anything in nature. It's not natural to be perfect. Give me an example of something in nature that's perfect. You'd be hard pressed to find one. So don't try to be perfect. It's not natural. I get tongue tied. Virginia said set alarms on your phone to remind you. Exactly. EV. Oh, you're I don't know if it's your signal or what, EV, but it's kind of coming in and out. Like the screen frozen. I don't know. I'm gonna come back to the comments. Same sis. I stay getting tongue tied, but I keep it moving. Yeah. And then sometimes you just to know that you're not alone, to know that you're not the only one, that is helpful for some people. It might be, guys. What y'all think? You back now, EV? But yeah, love at first sight, assessment, figure out where to start, fear exposing, you need confidence. Yeah, really all I got, EV. You got anything else you want to add to the conversation, or anybody in the chat? Allison, greetings, sister. I think you have a different quality of living when you have good people in your life. Hey, you know what? I saw somebody talking about it earlier. They was at some film festival at Martha's Vineyard, and they were saying how it was all these rich people there, and everybody was so calm and peaceful. That sound better. When you hang around. Yeah, it's coming in and out. I'm gonna try to carry it. I'm gonna try to carry the conversation till your service come back.
Me too, because this internet is going crazy.
Yeah, it's a storm coming in. Like you say, Ivana, you say I think you have a living when you have good people in your life. Yes. Imagine having bad people in your life. Imagine having people who are just negative and constantly complaining.
I don't know.
And pointing fingers and like, oh, it's their fault. It's their fault. And every time they come around, they complain about that negativity rub off on you. It's the same thing with positivity. Rub off on you. So yeah, I agree with that. No, there was a story. The girl was on YouTube. She was talking about Martha's Vineyard, and she made a statement saying being around all these people with regulated systems. She said it made her regulate her nervous system. She felt calm. Everybody around here is calm and chilling. But when you go to certain environments and everybody rowdy, you on alert. So that just to prove your point, to validate what you're saying, Ivana. Yes. Evie, you good? Sorry, everyone. I don't know what to do. It's all good, Evie. It happened to the best of us. I forgot to press record. We had the thing mess up earlier. This is life, and you just keep rolling with the punches. We should expect imperfection. That's natural. You should expect it. A little better. I see you moving now. As soon as you hit record, it started. Oh, I see you moving. That's it. As soon as I hit record, it started. Is there a correlation? Is it causation?
I mean, we good now. I think we're good.
Evie, what you think about surprises? Do you like surprises?
I love surprises.
Really? Some people don't like surprises. Do you know any?
Surprise me. Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I think some people, okay, I listen to a lot of people and I talk to a lot of people, and I noticed that some people, they like to control their environment, and a surprise is like, it's out of control. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to happen. So when something happens that you don't expect, it's like, you know how you go into fight, flight, or freeze? It's like you go into this heightened emotions because it's a surprise. It could be a positive surprise or it could be a negative surprise. Everybody's different. Somebody said earlier,
There are people.
go ahead, what you about to say?
I said, yeah, there are people who like to control their environment, but I'm not one of those. You know, I have a part of me that's kind of like adventurous, so I'm open to, you know, spontaneous things or like surprise, I'm at your house today. Like, what you doing here? Why you didn't call me before you came? You know, I kind of wish I lived in an environment where like my best friends and my family were all in the same city, and I just have random family members and friends popping up in my house. You know, that's my personality, you know, so I would be like, oh, hey, come in. And if I'm in a mood, I'll be like, hey, come in. And I would go right back on the couch and do what I was doing. So, you know, I know there are people who like to control their environments. And that's just a personality trait. We just know that we don't surprise those type of people.
Exactly.
You know? So yeah, I like surprises. I think too, the reason why I like surprise is typically because it's the thought that the person puts into whatever it is. Like you surprising me or a surprise situation, I don't know what to expect. And that makes me a little bit more relaxed because I'm not knowing what to expect. But when I kind of know what's coming and how it's going to end, it actually makes me more anxious.
Really?
You know, to know like, oh, I can expect this person to do this, or you know. So yeah, but I like surprises.
You said it makes you more anxious?
When I know
When you
what,
know what to
like, if I
expect?
know what to expect, it depends on what type of situation I'm walking into.
Yeah. So what if it's
I don't know? For me, when I don't know, I'm more relaxed because I don't know what to expect. So I'm not going to make myself anxious, making up a story in my head that may never be real. It's not real, right? It hasn't happened yet. But when I had an experience with this, whatever it is, I know what to expect. And if it wasn't a positive thing, then it will cause me to be a little anxious.
What if it is a positive thing?
If it's a positive thing, then yeah, I'm going for, like, I'm happy.
Okay. So you feel anxious when you know what to expect, when you know to expect negativity.
Yeah, you're going to a certain, going to a certain family gathering, you know, this one person gonna be there, they're gonna mess up the vibe. You're kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, or you just kind of, you kind of know what the outcome is. If it's not a positive outcome, you know what it's going to be. And it's just like,
Yeah.
But for me, when I don't know what to expect, I'm more so like happy to be there because I'm just experiencing it. But that took time. I wasn't always this person, you know. That's not something I've just always been. I used to get anxious about new experiences, but like you said, the data speaks for itself. So once I started to see that I actually have a great time and a new experience, I started to I welcome them more, you know.
Yeah. Very good. Allison says surprises are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, and you don't know a person's motive.
No.
Yeah, because you picture
I
it
want
going.
nobody around me Don't be surprised. Yeah, that's true. Don't surprise me.
Yeah. So that's why I'd be like, when somebody invites you to something, they be like, who all gonna be there? Because if certain people gonna be there, I ain't going. That's how you feel? You still finna go.
I'm there because either I'm going or not. Like, I'm the type of person. I don't know. Like, I don't mingle around people who I know don't like me, and it's crazy because I don't know a lot of people that don't like me. If they don't like me, I don't know. So obviously, but it's like I'm so focused. Like I don't know how to say this. When I go places, I'm more concerned about me than I am the other people. Like I'm like focused on me, and then I'll be, yeah. So I don't really be. I can't say I asked the question like who all gonna be here because I don't care. I don't care who's here. I guess that's the better way of saying it. I don't care who all over there, because obviously you want me there if you're inviting me.
Right.
What I mean? And if I feel uncomfortable, I can leave. I'm 35 years old. If I don't want to be here, bye. I'm going.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Just get up and go. I remember my mother used to have us places when we was little kids, and we want to linger. And I'm like, me and my brother, we was ready to go, and we would keep pressing like, "Ma, it's time. When are we going?" I don't know. That was just a random thought that correlate what you said. Virginia said it depends on what type of surprise. If you really know my personality, you will know what kind of surprise not to do. Right. You get to know people. Knowing who you're dealing with and you know what to expect. That's really all I got. Okay, so in summary, if you say you want deeper connections, what can you do to get what you want? Go outside. Linger. That's step one, right? Accept the invitation to the event. When you get to the event, give somebody a compliment. Use the form: family, occupation, recreation, and meaning. When the event is over, linger for a little while. And reflect on what happened, and you realize it wasn't as bad as you thought it would be. Think about all the data you just collected and how you can use this experience to help you with future experiences. Because you win or you learn. You never lose. Everything is data. And even if after all of that, you still feel like you're lacking social confidence, if you want to build up some more skills, if you want to figure, okay, there's different reasons why people are lacking confidence. This assessment will point you in the right direction to say, start here. If it's like dealing with speaking up, you need to start speaking up. The assessment will reveal that. So take the assessment. It's a quick 3-minute thing. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. That's a good take, brother. Thank you, Allison. Good summary. It's a group discussion. We're better together. All right, Evie. I think we got it. Anything you want to add?
Yes, I think we did. Thank you. No, thank you so much for having me on again. I'd love to be back anytime. This was great conversation. Apologies with the internet and everything, but I enjoyed the conversation, Devin.
Very good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Shout out to all my sisters and brothers in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for supporting us.
Yeah.
And those that watching on the playback, thank you for supporting us right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's it for tonight. Lord willing, I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace and good night.
Peace.
Now you're in the stream. End.